Happy Thursday and Friday, everyone. Thank you very much for attending our special workshop. I'm very, very thrilled and spiced up to do this workshop today. And because we are talking about spicy miso ramen. Spicy miso ramen is like, well, is one of the ramen genre that's been like, it's a niche market, but like, it's something that you may want to like pursue, right, as a, ramen shop and then, ramen business because we have tons of great ramen shops that are serving like, very good hot, spicy ramen in Japan, right? So, um, I'm gonna probably introduce you guys to like one of our favorite ramen shop that specializes in serving spicy and hot ramen. And then so what we're gonna do today is that like I want to go through some slides, right, and prepare, and then well which I hope gonna be too boring for you guys, right? And then but after that we're going to make some spicy noodles from Richmond One Machine, which is our one of the most advanced well, all-in-one ramen noodle machine, right? And then after that, right, we're gonna take that or spicy ramen noodles to our kitchen, or our one of our instructors is going to show you guys how you can make your own spicy and hot ramen, from next week, right? So I promise you guys that like it's gonna be hot and then very spicy, right? And then you can learn how to make your ramen hot as well. So let's dive into the slides. I prepare for you guys to or start talking about spicy and hot ramen. So yeah, spicy miso ramen. Well, that's like very one of the niche like but very prominent market that we're thinking about. Because I mean there are so many famous popular ramen shops that are serving some like few menus, right? I mean few menus among like other very signature menu that they have, right, that are hot and spicy, and they seem to like keep coming up with new spicy ramen, right, every single year. So it's I think it's gonna be like very good genre of ramen to for you guys to pursue, right? So um, this is our kind of like favorite spice ramen, right? And then it's an actual ramen shop that we have in Tokyo. It's called like Kikambo, right? Kikambo Karabishi Miso Ramen. And then, well, if you happen to be in Japan, right? Because it's a very good season to travel in Japan. Well, we have a lot of cherry blossoming going on across Japan, right about now. So if you happen to be in Tokyo, please give a shot at this ramen shop. And then so this is like this ramen shop, like demon themed ramen shop specialized in serving hot, numbing, spicy miso ramen, right? And then they're like so like epic center of like new genre of miso ramen, hot, numbing, spicy ramen. So they use a variety of chili peppers, special miso paste, right? Blended from several types, and Sichuan and Japanese peppers. And you can choose the level of hotness, right? From chili peppers and then numbness from Sichuan and Japanese peppers. And when you order, and then despite the appearance, right, the tables and flavors are balanced with the umami and tonkotsu, and then other ingredients, right, miso, chili, and Sichuan Japanese peppers. And then the noodles, right, are flat and medium-sized noodle, but very chewy, right? So um, hot, numbing, spicy sensations, thick and viscous soup, right? And then the main ingredients for the visualized tonkotsu bad with the umami from vegetables, and the addicting taste and flavors. So if you happen to travel in Japan, right, probably in 2 weeks we're gonna have a lot of it, pretty blossoming in Tokyo. So please try this, ramen shop if you have a chance to do that. So what I want to do is that like I want to kind of, for those of you who don't know what miso ramen is, right? So like I want to kind of get into a little bit of like the soup, right? How it's made, and then the miso, right, is a very important ingredient for miso ramen. So I want to talk a little bit about that, these particular ingredients, right? And then going to the noodles, and then we're gonna start making some spicy noodles. So first of all, like so ramen soup consists of these three components, right? Base stock, which can be made from animal type, seafood type, vegetable type, and other types of ingredients, like for example, fruits and stuff like that. And then to we're gonna add tare, right? It's a base sausage. This is basically seasoning, right? So base stock itself doesn't have like saltiness to it or anything. So we add like seasoning, right? So soy sauce, salt, and then miso is the topic we're talking about today. And flavored oil. Flavored oil basically add the flavor, aroma to the stock, right? Soup. So this is very important because we human beings, well, taste, you know, a lot part of the taste from the smell, the aroma, right? So we have a bunch of stuff that we use for flavored oil, right? So this is something we want to remember. And then so types of miso we have in Japan are basically categorized into three types: and rice miso, soybean miso, and then broly miso, right? By just the ingredients, right, that we use to make this different kind of miso. And then so we use malt as the ingredients we're using the to ferment the miso, right? So rice miso, there are so many different types, like in terms of taste, color, you know, percent malt percent range, right, on average, and the sodium percent range, and then where they are produced, right? Um, so salty, like there's a sweet, like light sweet, like salty taste, and then salty taste like typically produced in a kind of cold area, right? So like Kanto area, Hokkaido, the colder it gets, the saltier the taste gets. That's kind of rule. And then broly miso sounds healthier than the rice miso, but like so this is a sweet and salty type, right? And the bean miso, right? Like basically soybean, 100% malt range, right? So it's like it's made out with 100% malt. So and then yeah, if we compare miso and soy sauce, right? Because they're made of like basically almost same stuff, right? And then so the color is also like important. Like when it comes to the soup, right? Ramen soup, like when we make ramen soup, the color matters. Appearance, like well, affects the taste. Actually, how we taste the soup as well. So um, we're not gonna get into like kind of details of this, but like we've done this workshop course in the previous class, right? So please check out our what we did on the miso ramen. I think it was like 2 years ago or something. Check out our YouTube channel, Yamato Noodle. And so basically so we run our school, right? We have our school. We've been running our ramen school for 20 years. And then so the practice that we've been doing, right, in our school, like in terms of miso, the tare, right? So miso tare is like basically, the seasoning we, use to, well, add the taste, right? The tare, so what we are doing, like, we're not using like kind of just one type of miso, but, if you're using, for example, okay, let's make the dog miso tare, right? And then, so we take, 4 different, dog miso, right, coming from like different regions, like different companies, manufacturers, right? And then so they have their own koji, which is like in the mold. So they have like sort of like different bacteria, if you will, like to ferment this miso, right? So we take 4 different types of miso and then blend them at the same ratio, right? 25% each, and then we make our own miso paste, right? So that's what we've been doing, practicing right now in school. And because that's gonna give us like more complex taste, right? More complex flavor, that's good. Then to make the miso tare, like we add like ground garlic, ground ginger, like ground apple and stuff like that, right? To then we apply heat, right, to cook it up, and then finish the miso tare. And this is something, um, you know, because our school is like all about like data, right? A data-driven kind of curriculum. So we accumulate, record data of like all these like different ratios, different amount, like in a different weight of certain ingredients to the certain ingredients, right? So we recorded like all this like amount of tare that we used to, add it to like base stock to have a perfect sort of strength of the flavor and the strength of the saltiness and stuff like that, umami. Um, so basically, the amount of stock is usually one for one serving. Like we go like hot soup noodle, right? This is 300 grams, and then we add then compare that with stock density, right? Bricks. So tori paidan chicken paidan, and then take tonkotsu soup, right? Stock and the tsukemen stock, like basically they are high in stock density, right? So that we don't want to, add like much of tare to, create the balanced taste, right? But except for like tsukemen, because we want to have like very stronger flavor and taste to match up with the, the noodles, right? To compensate for small amount of soup, right? So, but when it comes to miso ramen, we add a lot of tare, like look at like 15%. Um, Also like because the stock days is a kind of really well in the mid range, right? So so we add a lot of tare, I mean percentage to the the stock weight, and then miso ramen soup, right? Basically, can be consisted of like these things, right? So for the base stock, which can be like pork based, right, and chicken based, seafood based, or combination of like all these three things at different ratios, right? And then tare, miso tare, and the shoyu tare. And shoyu tare is very good because it adds another complexity in different flavors, umami kind of structure to it, and then at different ratio. So and then because they go well together because they're basically made out of the same thing, right? So the flavored oil is also important to add the aroma to your miso ramen soup. So that was kind of miso ramen soup, right? Soup part, and then I want to get into the noodles, right? Noodles. Um, so miso ramen noodles is basically, well, in terms of this, like the noodle texture correlation chart that we've been using, right, for years actually. Well, it's kind of sit in the middle, right? Sit in the mid range for all these variables like moisture content, hydration, protein content, flour used to make these noodles, and the noodle size, kind of sit in the middle, but like slightly towards the bigger, like higher hydration, um, you know, be, a little bit thicker noodle size, right? So sort of like towards, I was moving towards that bigger um, you know numbers for that these variables. So ingredient wise, wheat flour, right? It's basically protein content. The ash is basically more change the color of the noodles, right? So like, well, for miso ramen, like, I mean, if if your customer don't care, like the color, like a darker color, then you don't have to worry about ash content being high. But if customer care, like, um, because miso ramen noodles are typically kind of, well, the color is like kind of bright yellow, right? So if you have like what you use the flour with the high ash content, then the color will be like kind of dark yellow. Viscosity, that determines how elastic the noodle become, right? So um, yeah, so we have a device that can measure this value, right? So if you have a flour you want to use for your miso ramen noodles, like please send some sample to us, and then we can test it for you. So it's a free of charge. And then hydration, right? Hydration. So miso ramen is basically in the middle, but like a little bit higher on end. So we're talking about 36% to like maybe for up to 40%. Then what matters is that like mixing time, right? How long we mix these flour, solid ingredients, and the liquid ingredients, right? So that basically lower hydration, the longer we want to mix to make sure that the dough is complete. And then so basically this is the typical recipe that we go for the standard kind of miso ramen noodles, right? So solid ingredients we have like flour, protein content 11%, so not too high, right? 11%, like it can be like 12% or something like that too, but not too high. And then ash content, again, like we want to keep it low, like a little bit low to make the color, right? Brighter. And then gluten. Right, gluten basically hardens the noodle texture, right? And egg white, and then again like this hardens the noodle texture, but also it makes the noodles a little bit water resistant, right? And liquid, so 38% hydration ratio to the weight of the flour, solids, right? But inside water, right? Constantly and salt. Constantly we add a little bit more to make the noodles harder, right? 1.5%, usually 1%. And pigment is that what we use to, well, color the noodles, right? But like just a little bit, 0.3% of the weight of flour. So this is a little bit. And then noodle size typically width 1.7 millimeter by thickness 1.5 millimeter, and then you want to make them curly, right? So thinning the dough and then cutting, right? So it's basically the width is determined with cutter size, and then thickness is determined by roller gap that we set, right? And the noodle size we're talking about, like there are so many different cutters that we can use to different make a noodle size differently. But like for miso ramen, then it's kind of middle, as I said, middle, but like towards the a little thicker end, right? And we're not talking about just miso ramen noodles, but we're talking about spicy hot miso ramen noodles, right? So another thing I want to say about that is like noodle size is that like so basically noodle size when you're doing for regular ramen noodles, right? Not spicy. Want to think about like noodle texture, which can be controlled by like protein content of flour and the hydration of the hydration percentage, right? So harder the noodle texture, want to go smaller in noodle size, because it's harder, right? And then so your noodle size should be thinner, because I know if we go thicker, then this is hard and thick, right? That's hard to eat, right? That's not good noodle texture. So it's a combination of like high protein, low hydration, then small noodle size, right? But we're talking about spicy noodles, right? And then we also wanna think about, okay, so basically the thicker the noodles, right? So more area we have, when we bite into noodles, right? To feel the spiciness, hotness, right? So basically the bigger the noodle, the spicier, right? So want to think about, yeah. So I guess, yeah, like Kikambo, right? Having a kind of flat noodles. If you want to make them if you want to make your noodles spicier, then you may go for like kind of flat noodles to have a kind of wider area for your customers to feel more, spiciness, right? And lastly, so miso ramen noodles are basically typically curly, right? We accept them curly. So, but kind of curliness we talk about, maybe different like from shop to shop, but basically how we make her, in the noodle curly is that like, we can use this kind of like parts, right? It's plastic, elastic silicone plates that you can attach on the back of the cutter to make them curly, and then so we can adjust this, the distance between these plates, right? Then make them curly, curlier or like less curly. So it's very easy to do it. So that's it. So we were talking about miso ramen, the spicy miso ramen. Then we talked about like different types of miso and how we blend the miso, right? But it's just like very fraction of what we teach our school, right? Then I understand like it's kind of, well, if you have if you've been working like, well, if you're running a ramen shop, or like if you're working a job and then have a dream of like opening a ramen shop and like 2 years, 3 years, right, and down the road. But you're busy, right? You can't come to Japan for real class, like real courses. So we have a better way for you to like get started on your journey, right? So we have uh, you know online class, online course that where we packed all these pack all these like curriculums that we teach in real school, like in online, right? So we have been running this like online course for almost like 2 years, and um, then you can learn, right, everything that we almost everything we teach like in our real school, like online, anywhere and anytime you want, right? So and then there are so many free resources that you can just start watching, free, start consuming free, right? Then you know that would probably help you get started as well, like in your ramen journey. So then to improve your ramen skills at the same time, you can train, you can teach your workers, right, to be a better ramen chefs, right? So yeah, so we have online course set up at the online school that yamatonoodle.com. So please check out our school, right? And then another thing I wanna mention before we start making our own like spicy ramen noodles is that like so for those of you who are interested in purchasing Yamato noodle machine, right? We have something special going on, like that's gonna end by 29th of this month, right? And we're gonna share some secret code, right, that you can send us to unlock some special deal, right, offer, right, by the around the end of this workshop. So like please stay tuned, watch until the end, right? So all right, so let's get started on spicy ramen noodles made on Rich Mango 1 machine, right? So Rich Mango 1 machine is being like one of the most popular ramen noodle machines that we've been selling period, right, on the history of our business. And so we've been shipping them to the US and then Europe and then anywhere in the world, anywhere else in the world, right? So we have, see right here, like we are adding this solid ingredients, right? Flour and then chili powder. So when you're using chili powder, right, to make ramen noodles, like please use the ones that's fine, right? There are some like a rough ones, but like please use this fine chili powder, just pure chili. There's nothing else in it. The pure chili, like finer powder. Otherwise, your noodle texture will be like very rough, and then noodles may be breaking with the big sizes of chili. So first of all, like we want to mix it just a solid ingredients for 1 minute, right? 1 minute. Because you have chili powder too, so you want to mix them up well before we add liquid that Mimi is stirring right now with the kansi and salt in it. So see, we are setting the timer on this touch panel. You can set with your tipping finger, and then so we are adding the liquid, right? And then direct onto the mixer lid with some small holes, right, in it. And then these small holes allow this liquid to be dripped through the flour, right? Allowing good hydration by adding this liquid a little by little. Then, but then we prepare the dough in advance, right? So it's a beautiful orange colored dough, and yeah, and then setting the roller gap right to 1.5. It's 1.5 millimeter, and then so it's medium hydration regimen noodle, but like higher end or medium hydration regimen noodle dough, right? So the dough size are a little bit fairly big, but the chili powder, is drier than the flour, so takes up some moisture. The water we add, right? So even though we add like probably 2 more%, 3 more% of water, ends up being like maybe 2 or 3% less, right? In terms of condition of the dough, the chili powder takes up the moisture. So, what's happening here is that like different one is like making the dough, right, sheeting, and then so it's automatic, right? It's automatic. Like so, what maybe did was just white, widen the sheet like onto the rolling pin, and then place it on there, and then it's automatic. Just binding the sheet, dough sheet, right? By itself, and then dough is like being fed to the rollers automatically. That's because Richmond Gold One knows that like, oh, how much dough is like going into the roller, by measuring, how much dough, right? With these like infrared like sensors, right? So he knows, how much, right? And then so like he knows like how fast you should feed the dough to the roller, right? So it's really clever, smart. You won't have to have like experience or like skills to operate this machine to be able to make, you know, very good spicy these ramen noodles. So this process that we just did is called wrap forming, right? So basically we are making the wrap sheet of dough. So that's the first step, right, into making spicy noodles, and then but this is still it's pretty fragile, so we want to make it firm, right? Want to make it firm. To do that, we want to separate it into two sheets, and then we want to combine them, right, through the rollers. So basically feeding these two sheets of dough to the roller, right? Then so this way we are combining these two sheets to one, and yeah, so this is how we strengthen the dough, right? And then develop the good noodle texture. So there are so many different types of like flavored noodles, colored noodles like this that you can make like with ease with this Richmond Gold One machine. And then, but depending on the ingredients, right? They you know they react with like other ingredients and constant and stuff like that. And even though like well, without like would be like beautiful color, right? But in some cases, like it turns out to be like completely different color, right? You know, purple color turns to green and stuff like that, and so you just have to like try and see, right? And then also when you cook them, when you cook noodles, then the color turns again like differently. Um, so and then like flavor may just disappear, right, into the cooking. So yeah, we want to we just need time, right? Try different ingredients, see what works, right? And so it was the first combining process, right? And then we want to do it for the second time, and then make sure that it's the gluten is fully developed, and then we have very good noodle texture. So it's going very slow, but we are going slow on purpose, right? So we are want to apply, at this point in time, this process, we want to apply, good pressure, then to develop the gluten, right? Work the dough. Then after after combined process, what we are doing is that like we are basically thinning, right? We're basically thinning, and then um, when thinning, we want to dust the dough, right, to prevent it from sticking. And so we'll start dusting, then yes, we started dusting, and then we can go faster, right? Go faster from this point on. So let's see if 2.6 when we thin at 2.0 millimeters, so like the dough went back, bounced back, expanded back by 0.6. Yeah, so actual thickness, right? I mean, dough, always bounces back after it's going through a certain gap, right? It's always bounces back, but it's that just the nature of the dough, right? Wheat, flour, with dough, and then the higher the protein content, the more it bounces back, and then yeah, basically harder, you know, more, right? But what we are doing is that like we want to gradually thin the dough, right, at certain ratio that we have, right? Then till okay, we can start cutting the dough into noodle strands, without damaging the dough, right? Without damage the noodle texture. So that's what we basically want to do. So let's go through 1.5 millimeter roller gap, and then it's 2 millimeter. Two, yeah, 1.9, 1.9. So the reason we check the thickness is that like by knowing how much it bounces back, like we know, okay, what the volume gap we need set, right, to get the final thickness, right? Then we use this cutter, right? See, like that's the silicone plates that we talked about, and put on the back of the cutter to make them curly, and then this cutter we use, right? This cutter we use, then there's a cutter there. Okay, so start cutting. So yeah, well, if you can notice this setup, right? We have a chair in front of it. This is a regular chair. You can have like a regular, old class like folding chair in front of it, and then you know, you can because thanks to the design of this machine, right? The point where you catch noodles, right? Noodles that are coming out of the machine, it's set a really high point. So you can catch noodles, then store them away at like kind of comfortable posture, sitting in a regular chair. So this is very nice for your workers, especially in your workers' backs. See the noodles coming out like curly, right? And again, like it's very easy to adjust the curliness, right? And we can adjust the curliness by changing the position of the cutter. I mean the silicone plates, right? So we use to do that, and then see the curliness. Really notice the curliness of it. Like they're not like as cold as instant ramen, right? But they're kind of lightly curled, and then I think it depends on your liking as well. But like also depends on the hydration ratio. Like if the hydration ratio is like low, like hard, noodles are hard, then you don't wanna call them like too hard, right? Too you wanna make them too curly because they're prone to breaking. So then if they're thinner, then again like they're prone to breaking. So yeah, there's certain rules that you want to apply when you making your noodle curly. So then that's what we teach as well, like ramen school. So yeah, so it smells chili already, like, but yeah, we can't really let you guys smell this smell of the chili, but it's definitely chili. So here's our classroom, like a kitchen, right? Where we teach our ramen school, our udon school, and then here's our instructor, Mr. Song, and then he's here to teach us, show us like how you guys can make very spicy ramen noodles. So
はい。じゃあ今日、スパイシーの味噌ラーメン作っていきます。
So yeah, let's start making spicy miso ramen.
とりあえず麺は茹でていきます。
Okay, so let's start off with cooking the noodles.
まあ、1分半、3分間。
Yeah, so looking at the size, I estimate the cooking time to be like around 2.5 to 3 minutes.
はい。で、茹でる間に、味噌の野菜とか炒めていろいろ味を作っていきます。
So while noodles cooking, I want to start cooking the toppings and soup as well.
これバター。
Butter, right? It's a little butter.
で、もやしを炒めていきます。
Okay, so bean sprouts. We're gonna stir fry them.
で少し調味料、味見ソース。
And this is the seasoning, like salt and pepper.
まあ、これ中国のその何種類のスパイシー混ぜた、ブレンドして混ぜたの。
So this is seasoning that that comes from some region of China. Well, it's not just only salt and pepper, but like it also has like a little bit of different like Chinese seasonings.
で、これスープベース。
And then that's a base stock, right?
で、豚、鶏と煮干しを入れてます。
Okay, so tonkotsu, and then pork stock, and then chicken stock, and then sardine, niboshi stock, dry sardine stock.
で、これ、味噌粉も、これも自家製か意味違うけど、まあ自分で調合した。
Yeah, so like this is the blended miso,
辛味噌ですね。
spicy miso.
はい。これはもう赤味噌と白味噌をブレンドして、その中にいろいろスパイシーとか、唐辛子とか、まあ、香辛料をいろいろ混ぜて、
Yeah.
作ってます。
Yeah, so what I did was like blend red miso, white miso, and then garlic, chili peppers and stuff like that. Other like blend it and then
白味噌の赤身と赤味噌のその塩味、塩味、あとまあいろいろ旨味をまあブレンドしたらもっと深い味が出る。
yeah, so like saltiness from red miso, sweetness from white miso, and then other umami that I put from coming from like ingredients I put in there. So just so by blending different miso, different ingredients, I'm adding like a little bit of depth, right, to the soup.
で、麺もちょっとできました。
Okay, so the noodles are ready.
で、水をしっかり。
Yeah, make sure like strain them well, like so otherwise the water from the cooking dilute the soup, right? So
色まだ綺麗ですね。
yeah, the color. Add in the noodles.
はい。今から盛り付けしていきます。
Okay, so I'm gonna plate it.
今日使うこちらです。で、これも
So that's chashu, pork chashu.
結構ボリュームがあってね。
That's a big one. And chashu.
で、これ、
Oh, the shrimp. Yeah, it's an orb that got a label, but like typically that orb, aromatic orb that come in that you see like in Vietnamese pot.
これ味噌タレつけたの卵です。
So that's a soft-boiled egg, like that's soaked in marinated in like miso dare.
これ、ヤンニングン。
Yeah, and corn.
少しネギの味ね、して。
Scallions.
これはまあ、ちょっと特別に今日、もうザーサイが入れます。
That's the some Chinese pickles that
まあ、からしとかしびれは、味噌ベースに入ってるんですけど、もっと辛さが欲しい、もっとしびれさが欲しいやったら、ちょっと入れます。
Yeah, so well, the miso tare that only has like all these things in there, but like, for for these customers like for warm spicier, right? So we have an option like adding like chili pepper and then shrimp pepper, right?
はい。で、最後にこれは、はい、これ特別作ったのしびれ油です。
This is the numbing oil that I made, like kind of what is?
はい。これも山椒、甘椒で何種類のこのしびれ味を仕込んで、あと材料で一緒に仕込んだ。
So there's a sauce that he added, like shrimp pepper and then like other types of numbing, peppers like hojao, like I don't know what it should be called in English, like have Chinese like kind of numbing ingredients, kind of blended. Like he said like 7 of them in there, so it's very spicy.
以上です。
Okay, so that's how you make your own very spicy miso ramen. And then well, if you come to Japan, right? I mean, in 2 weeks, I think we have a lot of like cherry trees like blossoming in Tokyo. Yeah, it's a perfect season for you to come to Japan, right? And then if you happen to be in Tokyo, I mean, there are so many ramen shops that that you can try, and then try their like spicy ramen, right? Spicy miso ramen, spicy ramen. So yeah, please come to Japan and we'll try out like these spicy ramen and then get an inspiration for your spicy ramen. And then if you have time, right, please come to our HQ, right, here in Kagawa. And then in Kagawa we have Sanuki udon, right? That's like the most famous like popular udon in the world. And then this is the home, right? So we can take you guys to probably on different like famous favorite udon shops here. So please think about it to come to Japan and then come to Kagawa, right? So all right, so the last thing, like I promised that you guys do, I do, right, is that like to share this code, right? It's a secret code for those of you who are interested in getting a Yamato noodle machine by the end of this month. So it's Mark 2024 hyphen Richmond exclamation mark and Mark 2024 hyphen Richmond exclamation mark. So if you can send this code to us by email, we'll give you guys the special deal that's gonna end by the end of March 29th, 2024. So yeah, please try it. Like if you're interested in getting ramen, I mean not just ramen, but like Yamato noodle machine. So that's what we have for today. And then so if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And then if you like this kind of content, like please hit the like button, right? So you won't miss our content that's coming out of our channel. So next week we are having like something else going on. So please check our website yamatonoodle.com. And then as I said, right, we have this way more resources that are available on our online course, right? If you can come to Japan for training, right? So please check out like our online school.yamatonoodle.com, right? For you to start your own ramen journey today, or like you start like improving your ramen skills today. So thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you back in the next workshop. So thank you so much. Bye bye.